Hey guys, it's Alex Burtson, the Manic Scholar, back again with another video about Ra-Uru-Hu. My last couple of videos were also about Ra-Uru-Hu, but they were through different systems. First I did a Michael Teachings video, and in that system he is a warrior with an artisan essence twin and sage and artisan casting, mature soul in acceptance. You can go check that video out to learn more about all the specifics on that. And then I also did his Vedic astrology chart, and in that system, he's uh, Sagittarius rising with Jupiter in Sagittarius, and then he has Sun and Moon and Mercury in Pisces. So very Jupiter heavy chart for him. So today we're looking at his human design chart and his gene keys, talking about his cross, and his type, of course, and his profile. Um, so I'll go into each of those details. Also talk about some of his channels that I see here. So Ra-Uru-Hu, if you don't know who he is, he's the founder of human design. He's the one who discovered it and channeled it and created this whole new system, brought it to the world, which is the system we're looking at right now, human design. So so we're looking at the founder of human design through the system of human design. Is what's happening. Um, so yeah, his type in human design is the Manifestor, which is also known as the Initiator. There's a certain aura type that is set up to initiate things, get the ball rolling with things. They're here to impact others and bring new things to the world, create new things. A lot of manifestors have started movements or new systems or organizations with their energy. They used to be the rulers, the typical rulers of the world. Manifestors were in charge, but that's kind of changing now because there's projectors on the scene now, and they have a different function to play than the manifestors do. But the manifestors are still very useful and an important aspect of the whole picture. So that's his type as manifestor. His profile is the heretic investigator. It's the 5-1. And the 5 line that's known as the heretic is also known as it could be like a savior, or it could be it's also known as the visionary leader. But they deal with all kinds of projections onto them, either positive or negative from others. And so they can attract a following by certain people, and then by other people they're seen as like a heretic, uh, somebody that they don't trust for some reason or some other reason. It's the 5 line is a lot like the story of Jesus, where he was he was a leader, a spiritual leader for many people at the time. But other people, wanted to crucify him. So that's kind of the themes of the 5 line. With his unconscious line as the first line, which is the investigator, this means that that Ra-Uru-Hu spent a lot of time investigating things in detail. Um, Very logical, step by step. It's really focused on accumulating knowledge. So as a leader with the 5 line, he's here to communicate certain things, certain knowledge that he's accumulated um, through having that 1 line in his profile, the first line. So that's kind of the mix of the heretic investigator. Heretic, the 5 line, is transpersonal, and the 1 line is personal. So he's going to need some time alone with that 1 line, but he's here to impact other people. Come into contact with many strangers with the 5 line and to impact them. So that's the profile. And his incarnation cross is the cross of the Clarion. It's a left angle cross, so it deals with groups. It's not as much of a personal cross. It's more of a transpersonal group-oriented cross. And the clarion refers to like a clarion call, like it's like a sound that you make. It's like an instrument, a clarion. Um, but they're like the shocking messengers. They're here to bring new wisdom to the world, new perspectives, new spiritual insights. And I'll show you which of the gates for this or gene keys apply to the cross are these four. It's the 61, which is in the head, 62, which is in the throat, 57, which is in the spleen, and 51, which is in the ego heart center. And so this is actually the most important one. Is the actually all four of these are important, but the 51 is his personality sun. So that's the main one for him, and it's in the ego center. So I'll get into more details with that when I talk about the channels. But with those four in the cross, I'll explain what each of these are real quick. So the 62 that's in the throat is also known as the organizing thought. It's a synergy of heart and mind and communication. Intellect acts in service to the heart, mediator and channel of universal truths, logical mouthpiece for abstract concepts. The 61, which is in the head, is its highest expression is the release of mental pressure into creativity. Inspiring thought doesn't become entangled in the mind and integrates into the body as art, activity, or expression, or curious inquiry. 57, that's intuition. It's a keyword for that. It's the intuition system for being in harmony with the outer world, highest sensitivity to sound and vibration, sensitivity to guidance, and near psychic perception. So there's a lot of intuition in this cross with that gate 57 or gene key 57. And his son, personality son 51, which is in the ego center, in its highest expression is the warrior of facing personal fears, courageous leaps into the unknown, first to initiate new things, and portal into initiations of new awareness. So that's the four gene keys together. And what that all means overall is it's an intuitive with a propensity for facing the unknown and initiating novel situations. Their union of heart and mind allows for integrating knowledge, information, and truth as a communicated language of transformation. It's a mouthpiece of change. So I'll also read real quick something. This is from Karen Curry Parker's book. This is the definition of this cross that he has, the Clarion. She calls it the left angle cross of initiation. And it's to lead, teach, and inspire others by initiating them into powerful spiritual truths, to help people discover practical ways to live in alignment with their higher purpose, to see the bigger cosmic and spiritual perspective, and to share your understanding of this perspective in practical and powerful ways. It's to be a practical mystic, to use your penetrating intuitive awareness to initiate others into their higher purpose and the bigger perspective of the meaning of their life, to be a spiritual teacher and initiator, to help people discover the meaning of their challenges and to help them reconnect with their spiritual purpose. So it's a lot of themes of like a spiritual teacher is what this is about, and bringing new perspectives in. I think Sam Harris also has this cross, so there's some similarities you can see there with him in terms of the roles they play. So I want to show you guys real quick these four in the gene keys system. So this is what it looks like in his gene keys chart. The 51's here, 57 there, 61, 62. So this is how it's tied to the human design. These green ones on here are the main sequence. So I'll just read real quick each of the levels: shadow, gift, and city for each of these gene keys. So uh, the 51 is agitation as the shadow, initiative as the gift, and awakening as the city. So that's the highest expression of that gate. So that's a quick uh, description of them. 57, which is that one that's in the spleen center. Um, the shadow is unease, the gift is intuition, and the city is clarity. For 61, the one that's in the head, the shadow is psychosis, the gift is inspiration, and the city is sanctity. And for 62, the one that's in the throat, pointing up towards the mind center, um, the shadow is intellect, the gift is precision, and the city is impeccability. So you see there's a mix of, if you just look at all of these in terms of the gifts, you got a mix of initiative, intuition, inspiration, and precision. So those are kind of what that cross creates together with all those energies together. And it's basically the spiritual teacher who's communicating new things and impacting people, initiating new things. So yeah, that's his cross. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the channels here that he has. So he's got the ego center connected to the self center through the 5125 channel, which is the design of needing to be first. It's the channel of initiation. So it has that ego willpower push because it's directly connected to that. The 51 is in the ego center, and that's Ra Uru, who's personality sun. So that's the most important one. But it's connected. It connects to the self center. It's the one that's pointed towards the self center. So uh, the self focus is a really important aspect for him, and it's directly connected to his willpower, ego, material wealth kind of energy. So this makes him very competitive and always ready to tackle challenge. Uh, he's not afraid to jump into the unknown and expand his horizons, stretch his limits, and experience a breakthrough that'll take him to the next level. It's the mystical process of initiation. So that's this channel right here. He also has this. He's got 3 channels connected together through 3 gates. So there's the 20 connecting to the 57. There's a 10 connecting to the 57, and there's a 20 connecting to the 10. So the 20, if you look at what the 20 is, it's about the now. It's an existential gate, contemplating the now, and being focused and absorbed in the moment. So it has this present orientation to the present moment as an important aspect. But it's connected to that intuition center, that intuition gate 57, that's in the spleen center. So the intuition is a huge factor for him because it's connected to his self center. His intuition is directly connected to his own self love and direction in life, where he's going. That's uniquely his own, and it's also connected to this present moment awakening um, theme with this 20th gate. So his intuition is a really big factor, as well as his self direction. That's a really big theme for him because he has 5 gates in that center. So a couple other things I forgot to mention, I'll just say real quick. Because he's a manifestor, because he has no, the sacral is undefined, but he has a motor connected to the throat. Just in case you guys are wondering how he's a manifestor, it's because this ego center is connected through channels to the throat, but the sacral is undefined, and that's what makes him Manifestor, and his authority is actually the spleen. Splenic authority happens automatically if the emotion center is undefined and the sacral is undefined. So the spleen is really big in terms of how he makes decisions. Um, really led by his intuition, his instinct. So that's a really big factor for him. He also has this channel uh, connecting the mind to the throat, which is the 4323, which is about conceptualizing and expressing a unique perspective that is inspiring to others, thinking outside the box, um, expressing in what you know in unique and innovative ways, and inspiring others. So one aspect of this is if you're not communicating with the right people, they'll see you as like a freak. That's what they say here. It's from genius to freak. So they're just like, what's this guy all about? I don't know if I can trust this guy. This seems crazy. Um, but if it's in the right circumstance with the right people, it's considered like the kind of insights that Rahu would get with this channel um, are very unique and inspiring to people. Um, so they would consider him like a genius. It's from genius to freak. It depends on who your audience is, who you're interacting with, and how you're perceived. Um, but there's this. It's in the center column of channels. So it deals most closely with living uniquely as yourself. That's kind of the theme of the channels down the center here. So he has a lot of that theme going on with a lot of the gates in the self center, and this channel here in this part of the circuit. But overall, yeah, what we can say is he's got a lot of stuff for the self center. He's mainly his main power from in terms of the motors is the ego center, and also that's where his sun personality gate is. It's in the ego center, so it's a really important aspect. He's a manifestor. He's a 5-1 manifestor, heretic investigator. So he had some leadership themes going on with the 5 line, also focus on knowledge with the first line. He had the cross of the Clarion, which is about uh, shocking people into new perspectives and seeing and bringing new spiritual insights to the world, being some kind of spiritual teacher. And that was his role. I mean, he was teaching about the spiritual system. Um, so yeah, that's about everything I wanted to say for him. I would recommend you guys go check out the other videos I did about him through Michael Teachings and Vedic Astrology, because not a lot of people really know about those systems as much as human design right now. So it's definitely interesting to look at Rahu through these different systems to see what his Vedic astrology is and his Michael teachings, in addition to his human design. But overall, what I'd say is he has a lot of spiritual themes going on, a lot of stuff with intuition, um, a lot of like warrior energy kind of thing with the ego center here. He also had his Rahu in Aries and Vedic astrology, and he's a warrior in Michael teachings. That's his role, his warrior. But he has artisan and sage secondary, so a lot of expression access stuff. Um, but yeah, a very unique individual who brought something new to the world, a new spiritual system. Um, so yeah, it was pretty cool getting to talk about Rahu through all these systems. So yeah, if you guys want to learn more, like I said, go check those other videos. Michael Teachings chart for Rahu, and then Vedic astrology chart. And that's it. I'm gonna have some other videos coming up. I've got some more Michael charts. I think I'm gonna do kind of miscellaneous this week, and then focus on one person through the different systems at some place sometime next week. But that's the plan for now. Probably a couple Michael charts this week. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Manic Scholar out.